What's up guys, Rick with RallySport here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am just so incredibly sick, but I have to be working on this WRX because the tune, we have 3 days to get the car ready for the tune. And I just have to make sure there are no boost leaks. Everything's gonna work just fine. I thought I would have all 3 days to work on it. Got super sick over the weekend. So what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna see how far I can make it. I'm moving really slow. I'm waiting for my medicine to kind of kick in and get me going. So we'll get this WRX pulled over to the lift here behind me. We'll do another boost leak test. I'm really hoping that there's no boost leaks, because if there's not, then I'm gonna go home and rest. If there is, we'll have to figure that out, and I'm not gonna be super stoked on it. But either way, I am very, very excited to get it. Either way, I'm really excited to get this car on the dyno to see what it can do. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Where are we at so far? Well, last Thursday, we did a compression check. Everything seemed to be okay. We did a boost leak test, and we had a massive boost leak. Now, I think I got that fixed. We'll test it again today, but it was leaking right there. Come on, focus. It was leaking right along, there we go. It was leaking right along that flange there. And it was such a big leak that I think it masks any other leaks that might have been there. So we'll have to redo a boost leak test and see where we're at. Hopefully, I'm hoping that that was the only leak, but I have a feeling there's gonna be more. So let's go ahead and get this thing tested. Well, aren't you guys lucky? You get 2 intro videos in 1 video. So here's what happened. Today's Wednesday, and last Monday I went to work on the car. I was incredibly sick. I wanted to do a proper boost leak test again, and then do a smoke test. And I was going to try to make like a DIY smoke leak tester with basically everything that every Subaru owner should have at their disposal. But I was so weak, I couldn't even get my air fittings off and on, and so I just decided to bail and go home, slept for the last 48 hours, and now I'm back. So today I got to get the car put back together, because I just talked to the tuner, and he's actually going to do a smoke leak test for me. So we'll go drop off the car and leave it there, and then we should, I'll probably end the video there, I would imagine. And then tomorrow we'll actually go do another video of the car on the dyno, assuming nothing goes wrong with the smoke leak test. So car's kind of torn apart a little bit. Let's just get it put back together, and then we can cruise over to the dyno shop. Here we go. All right, that was pretty easy. Let's cruise over, let's go get a smoke test done, and hopefully be ready for the dyno tomorrow. So, while we're on our way to the dyno shop, why do I keep on calling it the dyno shop? While we're on our way to the dyno, let's talk about, I think, what we're all thinking. What happens if it blows up? Well, if it does, hopefully it doesn't take out the heads. I think that's the part that concerns me the most, is if it catastrophically fails. I don't mind rebuilding a bottom end. I don't even mind, us buying a new block for it. But the heads is where stuff starts getting kind of pricey. Like if you grenade the entire thing and you munch the head. So if it goes, the ideal thing would be, a bearing, right? A rod bearing, a main bearing, something like that, to where it just starts knocking away. That camera is very, very vibrating. Where it just starts knocking away, and we, tow it back to the shop and tear it down. If it catastrophically fails, hopefully 1, we get it on camera, and 2, then we're out quite a bit of money. But I think, in my mind, with my budget that I have, I don't particularly mind building the bottom end. It would be a lot of fun. We could go with a bigger turbo. You know, we could really then start pushing this thing and seeing what we could get out of it. And that may even lead into going with secondary injectors, because one, we've got them, right? We could just hook them up. We would need an ECU that can control that. So that means standalone, which would also be something that we've never done before, and would be, I think, a lot of fun. Something that can control 8 injectors, obviously 4 standard injectors and 4 direct injectors. I think that would be a lot of fun to try something like that. You know, and obviously that's planning for the worst, but even worst case scenario, it isn't all that bad, because one, I like working on cars, obviously, and 2, you know, you guys get to see us do some pretty cool stuff. Now, let's assume best case scenario. Car does fine, car makes decent power, does exactly what we want it to do. In my opinion, this car is, you know, just about done. We've been selling our cars. We sold the FRS, the Focus RS is up for sale. And, you know, we would probably at that point, you know, do a few other little things like dial in the suspension on this, get a little bit more media on it. But other than that, the car is done. I mean, that's, you know, basically is not as far as we could go. Obviously we could go further, but we would probably sell it and make room for another project, which leads me to say we do have another project kind of lined up in the works, something different than what we've ever done before. I'm excited to get working on it, so I almost want this one to be done. I want it to, you know, do well on the dyno, to, you know, to pull strong, to make good numbers. I think what I would like to do is you know, we've got 91 in the tank. I would like to do a standard, you know, 91 tune on it, and then if the tuner has time, which I don't know if he does, because obviously tuning a twin charge system, I have to imagine, is quite a bit more complex than a standard, you know, off-the-shelf turbo and blah, blah, blah. But if he has time, what I would love to see is to do a 100 octane map on it as well, just to see what some additional, you know, additional boost and additional, or, you know, more aggressive. Now, I don't know if our limitation is going to be MAF, if it's going to be injectors, if it's going to be the limitation of the supercharger. You know, luckily the guy we're taking this to is incredibly smart, and he's going to be able to give me a lot of data afterwards and interpret whatever that word is, interpret the data, and be able to let me know, you know, kind of what's going on, and you know, how the car does and why it's doing what it's doing. It's going to be really interesting. And if the car sucks, great, we'll take the supercharger off. If he's like, wow, this is a major choke point, then maybe we'll take it off. But I just want to learn, you know, what's going on and why the car does what it does. It just died. That's very interesting. But, you know, why the car does what it does, and, you know, basically get data from it for you guys, you know. So if you guys are looking at twin charging, whatever, I just think it's an incredibly interesting process, and I'm really excited. So I'm just going to keep on. It's not that far away. So yeah, we're just, let's get to the dyno shop and then we'll go from there. This is the proper way to do a boost leak test, is actually a smoke test. So you have this little machine that pumps out harmless smoke, and then you tap it into, well, in this case, we're going into my little boost tap down in there, right? And so what it's gonna do is he's gonna fill up the entire system with smoke, and then we're gonna pressurize it, and then we'll be able to see if there are any leaks. Because this one doesn't put out more than what, a few PSI?
This will do up to 10 PSI.
Oh, so that's actually pretty decent. So, and then we'll see if we've got any leaks. All right, smoke test is done. The only place it's leaking from is the very top of that Turbo Smart blow-off valve. And I'm guessing just because we've rallied this car pretty hard to get a bunch of dirt and crud in there, there's nothing really protecting the top of that valve. Yeah, so you can see the smoke coming out of there. So we'll get a new valve on it, and then tomorrow morning, we're gonna get this thing tuned, and we'll see how it does. My good friend. Okay, take good care of her. No boost leaks, 2018.
There won't be.
Okay.
We're gonna take care of it.
See ya. So that's that. Now all I can do is wait. So once they get that blow-off valve installed, they'll run another smoke test, make sure everything's okay. And then they'll probably do a leak down test to make sure the engine's healthy, even though we already did a compression check. The leak down test is going to even further verify the health of the engine. And then tomorrow morning, I'll go down and we'll see it on the dyno. Well, that's it, guys. So basically they're going to install the blow-off valve, again, test for any leaks, make sure everything's fine. But now we just wait. I'll get this video edited tonight, get it put out today for you guys. I know it's been a long time, and I really apologize, but I really appreciate all the support through this build process. But now, here is what we're gonna do. I say take a vote, or in the comments below, let me know what you think the car is gonna make power-wise. We have, a few options. Do you think it's gonna blow up? If not, do you think, let me know power and torque, and whoever can get the closest, I'll send like a $50 gift certificate, as long as they're within the continental United States due to like weird tax things about sending gifts. I don't understand how it works, but so if you're in the United States, comment below on what you think the car is going to make, and we'll find out here shortly. And other than that, I'm excited. I'm really genuinely excited. The tuner was super stoked on the setup. He's really stoked to get get cracking on it and give us data from it as well. And of course, this will be a 91 octane tune. I might deliver him 5 gallons of 100 octane or higher, something like that. But the numbers you guys list below will just be the 91 tune. And remember, we are at like 6,000 feet, but our actual air density is like closer to like 7,000 feet. So take that into consideration. And we're on 91 octane, a really poor 91 octane. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Sorry this video was completely different and started on Monday and ended today. Just a lot of weird things going on, but at least the car's getting tuned tomorrow, and we're gonna see what it does and if it blows up or not. So that's super exciting. We'll see you guys tomorrow.